Elon Musk just went on Joe Rogan and he confirmed some crazy Tesla news. Elon says we are getting close to demonstrating the prototype. One thing I can guarantee is that this product demo will be unforgettable. I think it has a shot at being the most memorable product unveil ever. Hopefully before the end of this year. This is some crazy technology that we got in this car. Is it even a car? It looks like a car. If you took all the James Bond cars and combined them, it's crazier than that. Elon Musk here is confirming crazy news, saying that basically the Tesla Roadster is going to fly. Then Elon talked about Tesla. Tesla's focus is autonomous cars, building kind of futuristic autonomous cars. We want the future to look like the future. We want to change the aesthetic over time. You don't want the aesthetic to be constant over time. And then Elon Musk was asked, are you working on a phone, basically, and he addressed that question. And really, if you think about it, Neuralink is going to be a little bit like a phone. I mean, it will do everything that you want the phone to do eventually once it evolves over multiple generations. But Elon says, I am not working on a phone. I can tell you where I think things will go, which is that we are not going to have a phone in the traditional sense. What we will call a phone will really be an edge node for AI inference with some radios to connect. Essentially, you will have AI on the server side communicating with AI on your device, formerly known as a phone, and generating real-time video of anything you could possibly want. There won't be operating systems or apps in the future. It will just be a device that's there for the screen and audio, and to put as much AI on the device as possible. Now, something really tragic happened to someone who worked with Sam Altman, and that person is no longer with us, and they talked about this. Elon says, I'm not saying Sam Altman is guilty, but someone cannot look more guilty. The official investigation says that the person took his own life, but Elon Musk doesn't think so. Although he's not explicitly saying that Sam Altman did it, although he thinks he looks guilty because the camera wires were cut, there was blood in 2 rooms, someone else's wig was found, he ordered DoorDash before he passed away. Then Elon explains his X usage. I use X like I hop on in for 2 minutes and then hop out. It almost feels like that meme of the guy who drops a grenade and leaves the room. That's been me, says Elon, more than once on X. Then Elon Musk doubled down on his reason for acquiring Twitter. The reason for acquiring it was because it was causing destruction at a civilizational level. They were pushing an anti-civilizational mind virus to the world, and it was causing a lot of damage. And then Elon Musk has said that he hasn't seen any evidence of aliens, and that if he does find evidence of aliens, he will come on the Joe Rogan show to reveal the proof. Also, since they were talking about Sam Altman, Elon Musk also made it extremely clear that he is never going to take his own life under any circumstances. Never, ever, 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 ever. He's saying this on camera just so that there is a very clear record. I would also like to say the same thing. I would never, under any circumstances, ever take my own life. Not that I think I'll really need to worry about anything, but I might talk about some political subjects later, so I'm just making it very, very clear that I would never do that. But anyway, overall, Elon Musk was certainly quite in a good mood during this interview, and he made quite a few jokes. So this is one of them. You can pause if you would like to see and understand what this is about. It's a bit dirty. Now, the markets today are up a little bit, but there's no doubt that this interview with Elon Musk today on the Joe Rogan show is actually helping Tesla stock a little bit. And if you like seeing Tesla stock up, make sure to click the like button right now. So we are even closer now to the all-time high of Tesla stock. And according to Gary Black, 2 catalysts are pushing Tesla stock higher. Number 1, increasing optimism that Tesla and a few others are on the verge of solving for unsupervised autonomy. We have seen that note from Morgan Stanley. Basically, Morgan Stanley said that Tesla is pretty much done with full self-driving, as in it's done, it's solved. And their bull case is sitting at $800 per share. So according to Morgan Stanley, the stock could double in as little as 12 months. And number 2, conviction that shareholders will again overwhelmingly approve Elon's compensation package at next week's annual meeting. We remain cautious about Tesla's extended valuation, though, says Gary. We believe investors are too optimistic about how quickly Tesla can roll out level 4 and level 5 unsupervised robotaxis to other states without safety monitors. Austin and San Francisco Bay Area remain the only 2 areas in which robotaxis are available, with 150 robotaxis up and running. The major catalyst for Tesla stock going forward is removal of safety monitors in all robotaxis, which would signal an imminent scale-up, and which Elon has targeted in Austin by year-end. Gary's 6 to 12-month price target for Tesla still remains only at $310, so officially, Gary Black is now a Tesla stock bear. The way Gary Black put it, it sounds like the only next catalyst that can happen is Tesla removing safety monitors from the vehicles, basically the people that supervise FSD, but on the passenger side. I think there's so much more that can happen than that. Tesla could say, oh, you know what, we're making the $25,000 car actually, and we just need to put the steering wheel and pedals in this Cybercab and use the trunk space that we had designed before, basically put seats over there and change the roof shape just a tiny little bit, and voila, you got a four-seater. That could be one thing. If you remember December of 2022 when Tesla stock went all the way to $100, do you remember what exactly sort of started taking Tesla stock out of that $100 per share range? One of the things that really made a huge difference was Tesla's Megapack business. There was so much hype about it, and no one before December was basically talking about Tesla's Megapack business, and then suddenly everyone was talking about it, and the stock almost doubled in like a month. Tesla could also just one day randomly reveal out of nowhere some crazy stuff that the Optimus bot could do, and then boom, the stock probably would increase by a lot. Or here's another one. Elon Musk could just buy a few $1 billion worth of Tesla stock. What do you think that would do to the stock? I think it would drive the stock up by a lot. Or here's another one. Tesla doesn't necessarily need to remove the safety monitors from the cars, but if they release a new FSD version that is clearly good enough for unsupervised robotaxis, that would do the trick too. Like imagine multiple YouTubers uploading. I did a Tesla challenge where Tesla just drove me for 48 hours, basically non-stop or something like that. You got plenty of streamers that do crazy challenges similar to what I just described. These would probably go viral, and then these can be replicated over and over and over and over again. And yeah, you know, you got something really, really special, as in basically you don't need supervision anymore. And if you start seeing everyone saying on X that basically all fear interventions are just totally gone, yeah, that's another data point that things are moving forward. There are so many ways but I can see Tesla stock doubling from where we are right now, or just having a huge increase suddenly. It's not a game that many people end up winning when they try to guess exactly what the next catalyst is going to be when it comes to Tesla, because Tesla is run by Elon, and Elon sometimes can be a little hard to predict. Elon almost seems to me that he's more comfortable with chaos, and the thing about chaos is it's hard to predict. Also, think about what company is second to Tesla right now when it comes to electric vehicles. Many would say BYD. But here's the thing, BYD generated less revenue than Tesla in Q3. BYD's revenue was $27.1 billion and was down 3% year over year. Tesla's revenue was $28.1 billion and was up 12% year over year. BYD's cash flow was negative $3.5 billion. Tesla's cash flow was positive $4 billion. BYD sold 1.1 million vehicles during this time, while Tesla only sold 0.5 million. Also, BYD's massive year-to-date and Q3 cash burn was not a function of paying down massive supplier financing. Now, typically 50 to 70 days is normal, but BYD's is about double at 132 days. This means suppliers extend double the amount of financing to BYD compared to peers, relatively speaking. And excluding supplier financing, AJ's research shows that BYD has never generated excess capital on a cumulative basis. In other words, the company remains lifetime cash flow negative despite delivering millions of vehicles and supposedly having a very profitable battery business. So the company in the second position that is competing against Tesla, the best they can do is lose $4 billion in a quarter. And you got to remember that Tesla is intentionally not going after certain other markets, like for example, under the smaller vehicle market yet, or other markets that BYD is actually competing in. Tesla just chose the Model 3 and the Model Y market. And despite BYD not having to compete with Tesla directly in these other sub-markets, BYD is still losing a ton of money. And then we got some significant news here. Tesla Cybercab was spotted testing on public roads for the first time. This was in Los Altos, California, about 10 minutes from Tesla's engineering headquarters. As would be expected at this stage, a person was in the driver's seat, but the feature is clearly autonomous. What is also very clear is I can see a side mirror put on this vehicle. I don't think this is required for testing. Teslarati is also pointing out that this vehicle does look a little bit different from how it looked before. And here's one photo really close up. You can see that I think there is definitely a steering wheel here. Razad says, I'm trying really hard, you guys. It's basically pointing out that there's a steering wheel over there. Drive Tesla Can is reporting that there is a steering wheel in there. Bradford zoomed in, and this part to me, it does look like a steering wheel. What we can definitely see is that the door actually got larger, so it will be more comfortable to get in and out of the vehicle, or it will be easier to get into the back seat. Now, someone also said, never mind the Cybercab door length, look how far forward they moved the seat. And so, of course, Prasad is saying, oh wow, I wonder why would they do that? To be able to put back seats later in the car. Now, Joe Tagmar says there is definitely a change in the quarter window, and these images show the front fender camera has been relocated too. There's a comparison. And then we learned that Tesla will showcase the Cybercab for the first time in China at the China International Import Expo in Shanghai that runs from November 5th to 10th. This was announced by Tesla's China VP Grace Tao herself. So Tesla is obviously actually planning to launch and try to bring the Cybercab into the Chinese market as well. That ran an interesting poll here. By 2028, Tesla will make more money from 1. Unsupervised FSD, or Robotaxi network. Most people are thinking Robotaxi network will make more money by 2028. And hey, do you know what we are looking at here? Well, the last time we saw something like this in Austin, or one of the times we saw, was before the expansion of the Robotaxi area, or even at first before the launch of Robotaxis in Austin, we saw some of those. So knowing that Tesla actually is trying to hire for talent related to launching Robotaxis in Arizona, Phoenix, yeah, this makes sense that Tesla would be doing this. So Tesla is definitely coming to Phoenix. Oh wait, it's not just one. Look, there's one here, and then check this out. There's another one right here. Cool. And remember that Tesla, based on hiring and all of that, we know that Tesla is actually going to expand into a few more markets like Florida. I like Jason DeBalt, and he made a pretty good post here. Tesla must never be stolen from Elon Musk like Apple was stolen from Steve Jobs. If there's only one job of a Tesla shareholder, it's to vote with the board every year. Tesla is a phenomenal company. Let's keep it that way. One bad board member can sabotage the entire company. That's definitely possible. Lots of powerful people want to take Tesla down. And speaking of one bad board member, I'm so glad that there was someone that tried to get elected on the Tesla board in the beginning of 2023. I'm not going to mention his name, but let's just say it rhymes with Boss Turner. He was completely against Elon Musk and a lot of things that Tesla was doing and all of that. So that would have been not very good. Tesla shareholders must constantly stay vigilant here on X and vote consistently to keep control of the company in their right hands, or we will lose everything. Now, I think the chances of something bad happening currently right now are very, very, very low. But the way we keep it that way is by voting. And we have to stay vigilant and we have to vote because, for example, here, Tesla investor CalPERS opposes Elon Musk's 2025 performance award. CalPERS is one of the largest US pension funds, and they own about 5 million Tesla shares. They will be voting against Elon's performance award. They also opposed previous pay plans. And check this out. Dylan Loomis from Electrified is challenging Meet Kevin. They have a slight disagreement about what's going to happen. Dylan says, I have a friendly $5,000 wager for you, Meet Kevin, if you are interested. You just said it's not a foregone conclusion that Tesla's Optimus is going to be the best robot. And of course, nothing in this world is guaranteed, but if you really want to look around at all of the available data and conclude it's just a toss-up, I have a bridge to sell you. I think you could have made the Meet Kevin's argument before Elon Musk got this new compensation package and before Elon Musk bought Tesla stock. Like at this point, if you are not convinced about the Optimus bot, you are betting actively against Elon Musk, and we know what happens when you do that. Not good things. Now, the bet for 2033, Tesla does more revenue from Optimus than the next two best US or EU humanoid companies combined. China lacks the transparency and trust, so they are excluded. They will likely find a way to record sales twice anyway. Yeah, we have seen that with some of the EV companies. That actually did happen. I think deep down, Tesla is going to dominate this space given their unique positioning with vertical integration, hardware, software, silicon manufacturing, and establishing supply chains, vision-based neural nets, world models, real world data, and so on. I think you likely are going to downplay Tesla's expertise so as to not come off as a fanboy, when in reality, it just makes you look uneducated to everyone in the know. To be clear, I like you. I watch some of your content from time to time. This really is all in good fun and pursuit of the truth. I just happen to enjoy betting on Tesla. It's been a profitable bet for me, and some folks told me early on, don't bet against Elon. Oh, and just because Elon and the Tesla team tend to use the terms autopilot and FSD interchangeably does not mean they are basically the same thing. I think this is misleading for your audience that may not be informed on how different these options really are. Oh, this is I sense a bit of a fight here. Not really quite a fight, but a little bit of tension, yes. I think we could also make a bet. Who's gonna be right in this case, Dylan or Meet Kevin? I would say Dylan is gonna be right. My money would be on Dylan. Ooh, Tesla eyes internal CEO candidates if Musk leaves over $1 trillion pay vote. I am sure that Tesla is not going to actually need to implement any of this, if this news is correct, simply because Tesla is going to give that compensation package to Elon, because shareholders will vote overwhelmingly in favor of giving that compensation package to Elon. And this time, because Tesla has been incorporated in Texas now, that compensation package from him, if and when he eventually meets a lot of these milestones and gets paid, he will actually get this compensation package, because it will not be rescinded, because it will be in Texas. And Elon Musk replied to this post personally. Cathie Wood said about Elon Musk is the most productive human being on earth. True. If you just simply measure who made the most money, Elon Musk made the most money. So, and also he's not that old. That's another thing. He has the way he made his money is not from just doing what other people have done. He did it basically by doing that stuff that other people think it's impossible to do, and then he actually ends up succeeding. So that, I think there has to be a huge difference between someone that makes $1 billion doing something that, you know, was sort of done before, but it was just done in a better way, compared to, oh, this was never done before, and here you look at this and we have this new thing that has never worked before. Cathie Wood continues, and a human being who attracts incredible talent, people who want to solve the world's hardest problems. This is a win-win for all of us if Elon succeeds this time. And Elon Musk replies to Cathie Wood, thanking Cathie Wood. And here's something that just a little while ago would be considered basically almost a crime by the party opposing Elon Musk. Kamala Harris said, I think it was a mistake not to invite Elon Musk. I'm no fan of his, but I admire his work as an innovator. Think about this. If she said this a year ago during the election, oh my God, what would happen to her? And I don't think she's helping her reputation by doing this. However, this is definitely helping Elon Musk, and overall it's healing the divide at least a tiny little bit, because saying that I admire his work is sort of almost, it's not the same as saying I like the guy, but it sort of a little bit is. Because the thing is, many people, when they hear like a snippet, like a headline, they don't really go into details, and some people will think that she actually said, oh, I like him overall because he's doing good work. But also, if you read the transcript of what she actually said, it's a bit crazy. Look at this. I'm no fan of the guy who has brought sustainable transportation to the forefront and made renewable energy even more relevant than ever. Of course, this is not a direct quote of what she said, but this is, I mean, everything that's said here, it's not like, you can't say, oh, it's not correct based on what she said here. So, you know, there's still a lot of progress to be made here, but clearly this is great for Elon Musk and Tesla. I saw this video, which I'm sure Tesla is going to address in future updates. Tesla just needs more data adding this stuff. And let me just demonstrate some progress that Tesla has made. This is from Dirty Tesla. This is FSD V14, completely stopped for this ball and waited for everything to be clear before the vehicle started going again. And this is FSD V12. Bam! That's good progress, I would say. Prasad has a very interesting take that I haven't heard of before. Tesla vehicles working as distributed inference is such an interesting concept. With enough compute power and enough time into the future, it stands to reason that Teslas could simultaneously drive and do distributed inference. So I've heard about inference, of course, like where you use computers that Teslas have in their vehicles when they're not driving to do some other stuff. Yes, but he's talking about doing this while the vehicles are driving. I think about it as a human walking and talking. When my son was learning how to walk, all he could focus on was walking, but as his brain got better, stronger, more efficient, and as he practiced walking, it has become an afterthought. Now, he can walk and talk at the same time. Why wouldn't Teslas with FSD chips on the cars be the same thing? If you fast forward 5 to 10 years, not only will the inference chips be way more efficient and powerful, a much bigger portion of cars on the roads will be driving autonomously. This means significantly less complexity to deal with on the road from distracted/bad drivers. So with enough time, you will have extremely capable Teslas where driving is an afterthought, freeing up the brain to do other things. And then when the driving situation looks weird, it can pause the thinking and focus on driving. No different than humans walking around and then all of a sudden they see something weird on the ground. You pause, talking for a bit, go past the thing, then resume walking and talking. Intuitively, this feels like cars won't have to be part to do distributed inference. They can drive and do distributed inference at the same time, just like how most humans can walk and talk at the same time, which means that 100% of Tesla's fleet can be doing distributed compute almost 100% of the time. I think on the surface, at first, this does sound like a good idea, but the thing is, if you still have accidents eventually, which eventually you will still have, even if the cars are extremely good, we will not have 40,000 a year people passing away like we sort of have right now in the US. We might go down to 100, but that will still be 100 potential major lawsuits. And I'm not so quite sure that that is going to be worth the price of all the media and attention and potential downsides of all of that. I am not so sold on the idea from Farzad, but it definitely makes sense. I think Farzad is slightly mistaken with the idea of the computer being able to know exactly when it needs to allocate more resources to think quickly, because if you allocate the resources at all times that you have available, the vehicle will be able to see threats from far further instead of realizing last moment, oh, there's a threat, but it's already too late. So now it's just an outcome between someone is going to perhaps pass away versus someone is only going to get really injured. Choose between these two. You no longer have an option of no one gets hurt. Wait, what? Member of Biden administration says he regrets not doing more in terms of adopting autonomous vehicles, which basically means adopting Tesla's vehicles. Tesla's FSD, Pete Buttigieg, said in a new interview that he and the Biden administration should have done more to accelerate the adoption of autonomous vehicles. I think there's a potential to save a huge number of lives. Every day, 150 people die on our roadways to car crashes and vehicles driven by humans, enough to fill a 737 every day. The average driver think they are safer than the average driver. We are at the point where at least some of these technologies right now already are safer than human beings, and that's only going to improve. Are these things we could or should have done to accelerate AV adoption? I think the answer is yes. Wow. Also, by the way, when these people on the left, when they attack Tesla vehicles, basically what you are doing, we know for sure, when you drive a Tesla vehicle with FSD on or even autopilot on, the chances of you crashing or hurting anyone, these chances go down so much. So literally, when you advocate for people to not buy a Tesla, what you're advocating for is, I want the roads to be more dangerous. I wish that someone was basically like, they're wishing for bad things to happen indirectly. But anyway, this is so good for Tesla because basically the resistance from the other party is clearly going down. Oh, we also got some really good news for everyone who reserved a Tesla Roadster because Sam Altman canceled his Tesla Roadster. So there's one less person in line. But you actually have the deposit now for 7.5 years. So people that have put the deposit 7 years before, you guys have a lot of patience. Today, definitely a good day for Tesla stock investors. So stock is up 3.74%. My name is Matt Posius, and I will see you in the next video, probably on Monday. In the meantime, I am posting a few shorts on a different channel. So if you see my face in some of these shorts, well, you've been warned. They are going to be on a different channel than this one. If you like to follow me along, I will make posts on this channel, but these are not going to be like videos on this channel, but you will still be able to see the posts if you like to just see where I will be posting the shorts.